Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Sprinkled Life. My name is Heather, and today is all about the gram. That sounds really weird coming out of my mouth, but we are going to focus on Instagram-worthy desserts. I totally had this idea driving home late last night, and so that is why the video is delayed today. We definitely got a late start, and I was like, okay, we need to regroup and do this today. I'm so excited because we're gonna be using all sorts of fun pastel colors and just basically dousing everything in glitter. Sound good? Because it sounds like a perfect plan to me. If you are new here, I do lots of lifestyle and baking content, so I would love for you to consider hitting that subscribe button and turning those notification bells on so that you don't miss out on future lifestyle and baking content. So let's dive right in. I am going to be doing 3 different desserts today. One is kind of like a breakfast dessert, but we're just gonna have all sorts of fun with these pastel colors. So I already have my icings mixed up and just in cut open bags. We're gonna be doing a unicorn cupcake. I know you guys aren't over the trend, let's be real. I also have some edible holographic silver glitter to throw on top. I was not kidding about the glitter. I am ready, I'm prepared. I already have my cupcake pre-made as well. I did choose funfetti just because that seems like a fun flavor of cake to have with a unicorn cupcake. And we are gonna go for this. I'm gonna show you a real quick trick using a bunch of different color icings so that we can get that nice rainbow swirl on this cupcake. Basically, we wanna be super extra and as basic as possible. So I went ahead and I cut a piece of saran wrap that I have laid down here on my table, and I have arranged my colors just so. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pipe a big, thick stripe of this color to the side of my saran wrap here. And I'm leaving a little bit of space on either end, front and back, because we are gonna fold that up here in a second. So now we are going to carefully roll this all together. I'm gonna pinch the ends off here. I'm gonna grab my scissors and cut one end off. Okay, so now that I've got this all curled up and cut at one end, I am switching to a new icing bag. I'm just using a coupler that is exposed at the bottom. This only works if you have a coupler that doesn't have the little slit in the side. So this one's completely smooth. Otherwise, you can use a giant round tip for piping. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this rainbow section down into the bag. And this is what we are going to end up icing with. Okay, so now I'm just gonna pipe a little bit out, make sure it looks how I want it to look. Kind of get all the colors going. There we go, that looks perfect. And we're gonna go ahead and ice this cupcake. And now we have this beautiful rainbow swirled cupcake. How perfect is that? All right, so our cupcake is looking gorgeous, if I do say so myself. So it is time for that glitter bomb that I was talking about earlier with this holographic silver. You can really use whatever color glitter you want, but I think either like the iridescent tones or the silver that picks up all the light, since we're kind of getting, you know, that separation of light with all the colors is what is gonna work best on a unicorn cupcake. So this stuff can get out of hand really quickly. So I'm gonna start by just pouring a little bit into the lid and then sort of shaking it on top. Don't know how well you're gonna pick this up on camera, but there's all kinds of glitter on there now and it is looking fab. Okay, so I actually went ahead and I iced one more cupcake, I set them aside, and now we're gonna make some little unicorn eyes and lashes, a really quick and easy way. So I've grabbed some black candy melting chocolate. If you've never used this before, you can use either a chocolate melter, but I'm gonna be using a microwave today. If you haven't used it in the microwave, what is gonna be easiest? We're not gonna need a ton. So I'm just gonna pour some of the wafer chips into like a little ramekin here. And then I'm gonna microwave about 30 seconds at a time, stir, 30 seconds at a time, stir. It will take about 1.5 to 2 minutes for this amount to completely melt. But the thing is, if you like try to do it all at once, sometimes you'll get weird clumping and heat spots and things like that. So 30 seconds, stir, 30 seconds, stir until you are ready to go. I also have an icing bag here ready to prep with the tip number 2 so that we can pipe the chocolate eyes. We're gonna be piping it onto this board and letting it dry and using them a little bit later. All right, so my chocolate's melted down. I've got it in my bag. Let's do this. All right, now we've got our fancy eyes and eyelashes drying on the board. So now it is time to make a unicorn horn. I've grabbed a little bit of fondant. You could definitely do gum paste too because it does hold shape really well, but I'm just gonna use a little bit of fondant and a toothpick. Okay, so now I'm just gonna roll a little piece of fondant out and try to make it more narrow on one end than the other so that we kind of get that nice shape. Okay, so now I've got my piece of fondant rolled out. It's larger on one side, smaller on the other. And I'm gonna start maybe 3/4 of the way down my toothpick and I'm just gonna start wrapping. Okay, so I am using a little bit of Super Pearl just to give this an extra pop. The Super Pearl is a luster dust that you can either dust on just as is or you can paint with. If you've never painted with dusts before, basically I'm just taking a little bit of powder into the cap and I'm gonna mix it today with some extract, but you can also use vodka. I know it sounds very boozy to add vodka to your cake, but actually it just evaporates more quickly. You're not really putting it into the product, but I don't have that here, so I'm gonna use just a little bit of extract and mix it up. Okay, so I like my consistency to have a little bit of like resistance to it. I don't like it to be too liquidy and you also don't want it to be thick and chunky. So now I'm ready to paint and I'm just gonna start brushing it onto the horn. You could dust this in whatever color you like. I just like that pearlescent kind of subtlety. Now I'm gonna go back to, guess what, glitter, and we're gonna shake a little bit on this. All right, so here we go. It's nice and glittery, shiny, and I'm gonna set it aside. Okay, I just grabbed a little piece of fondant. Again, you could use gum paste. I put a little powdered sugar down and I'm gonna roll this piece out. We wanna make some ears too because I think it just kind of gives it that really cute finishing touch. Again, we're going for extra, so roll this tiny little piece out. Once I've got that rolled out, I do have this little half moon cutter. It came in a set actually from Dollar General of all places, but I know that Atco, which is a company I really love, makes basically the same set that's a little bit nicer. I think I have it somewhere, but it's buried in a box. So I'm gonna use the little half moon shape to cut out a couple ears. And then I have a feeling that this large back of one of my 1M tips would work really well too. So I'm just gonna kind of play around and try a couple different ways and decide what I like. Okay, so now that they're cut out and on the board, we're gonna go back to painting. This time I am using Classic Gold, which is by Sugar Art, and I'm gonna paint just the insides of the ears, leaving that outer white edge just to give it, again, a little bit more extraness. So I just finished mixing up my gold paint, and I am just gonna go ahead and accent all of these ears. All right, so time to start adding things on. First, we've got our unicorn horn here. Then I'm gonna take my round ear, I'm gonna curl it in, pinch at the bottom. All right, so there are our ears and our horn. Time to grab the eyes. All right, so I've brought over some lashes and I just sort of picked my two favorites and some sizes that I thought looked appropriate. It is helpful to have something like the end of a paintbrush to really press it into place at this point. And voila, we have a perfect little unicorn cupcake for the Instagram. Okay, so unicorn cupcakes, check. Before we move on, I did want to talk real quickly about the eyes on the unicorn that I made out of the melting chocolates. I originally did them on a cake circle that didn't have the coating on it, which is really unusual because I always get the boards with the coating. But for whatever reason, I did that. And as I was piping them, I thought to myself, I feel like this is not gonna wanna release off the board very easily because of the oils seeping into that, and I was right. So I ended up going back and using a board that does have the coating. Parchment paper would probably work well too. So just make sure if you try that at home that you use either some parchment paper to pipe on or a board that has coating. They popped off really easily once I did that. So now we are moving on to a dessert breakfast and I'm so excited. I think this is going to be totally adorable. I hope that it is. I hope that it lives up to the hype I have in my mind. So when I was at Target the other day, I saw this little waffle maker and it makes heart-shaped waffles. This is gonna be great for Valentine's time. As you can see, that's just adorable. So I have gone ahead and I mixed up two different colors of my just standard waffle mix. I dyed with some AmeriColors and I have a pink and I also have this nice teal color and I'm really excited. So we're gonna make some mini heart waffles. I also did pull in my glitter again because I have to just glitter bomb everything. So I thought about trying mixing this into one of the batters too and just seeing if you can see it or not, or if it's gonna be better to just sprinkle on top. I've never tried to actually put it in a batter, but I think we're gonna play around with that and just see what it looks like. So we're gonna make a combination of some pink hearts, some teal hearts, and just come up with something really cute. So let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead and start cooking these heart-shaped waffles. Okay, so these turned out really cute. I've got 2 pink hearts and 2 teal hearts. Of course, you could do whatever color you like, but that is pretty cute. I have grabbed both the glitter again, obviously, and I have a sort of a variety of sprinkles here, whipped cream, and I do have white chocolate and strawberry melting chips melted down so that we can kind of make things look fancy. The first thing I'm gonna do is put some white chocolate in a piping bag, and I have the tip cut open very, very small. We're gonna kind of drizzle these hearts. So now that they're drizzled, it looks really pretty, but I did get kind of a couple little spots. I want to clean the plate off, make it look really, really nice. And then because we like glitter, why not? Let's add a little sparkle to the top of these hearts. So this is looking really cute so far. I do want to use the whipped cream. Actually, I think I'm going to do this last. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the strawberry chocolate and I'm also going to put some of that into a bag. Okay, I am using a bigger cut in this bag, and I am just going to pipe a circle around the hearts here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab the edge of a pastry brush and just kind of brush through it. Clean up any spots I don't like. So now I'm taking my can of whipped cream. I'm gonna make a big section in the center. I'm going to use the sort of round pastel-y looking sprinkles. I'm also going to scatter them around the pink chocolate. All right, so now we have this super Instagrammy dessert. I think it looks absolutely delicious. Okay, so now I just really want waffles, but we do have one more Instagram-worthy dessert that we are gonna do here, and we're gonna go out with a bang, and we are gonna make a cupcake milkshake. What? Yes, I need all of the dessert. So we're gonna be using a mason jar to kind of dress this up. So the very first thing we're gonna do is dig back into the white chocolate, and we're gonna actually kind of brush the white chocolate along the edge of this and add sprinkles. So I'm gonna grab a couple things. I'm gonna need basically a pastry brush to brush it on with, have sort of a wet paper towel to clean it up with, and then I'm gonna put a glove on and sprinkles over a plate so I can kind of roll them onto the chocolate. So here we go. Okay, so actually before I brush this on, I decided I'm gonna do one thing first. I do still have this strawberry chocolate as well. I'm gonna go ahead and fill some more into a piping bag. And since we're sort of sticking with this pastel theme, I'm gonna drizzle some of this chocolate down onto the inside of the glass just so that when we fill it, we get an extra pop of color. All right, so I've got my brush here, and we are gonna start brushing this white chocolate right on to the edge of our mason jar. You wanna make it a little bit thick because we wanna make sure that our sprinkles are going to stick here in a minute. But you wanna work kind of quickly too because the chocolate will start to dry. All right, and just like that, we are ready to throw the glove on and start rolling this in some sprinkles. You can see I've got my plate ready so that they can just fall everywhere. Okay, so I still managed to make a bit of a mess, but as soon as I finished rolling that, I went back with a wet paper towel and just tried to clean up any edges that I thought, as I'm still doing this here, looked a little bit sloppy at all with a wet paper towel before the actual chocolate completely dried. So I would recommend doing that. Just any little smudges you see really make this look nice and pretty and perfect. And I'm kind of sticking with that pastel theme. So I have this pink chocolate drizzle, and we're going to put a mint chocolate shake together to give it that pop of, again, sort of that teal color, that minty color. And we're gonna top with a cupcake. And I also found these really, really cute heart suckers at Walmart, and I love sort of the color aesthetic with this, so we might play around with popping these in too. And I bought some really adorable paper straws. Paper may not be the best for a milkshake, but you can certainly order the reusable ones in all sorts of fun colors. So let's get working. I can't wait to see what this is gonna turn out like. Okay, so I mixed up a mint chocolate milkshake. It is one of mine and my husband's absolute favorites, probably is my favorite flavor of ice cream. And I like that nice minty color. So we are gonna go ahead and just very gingerly get this into our mason jar. All right, so I filled it up and now I'm just kind of adding with my measuring cup here. This is not what I would do. I would use an ice cream scoop, which I didn't have handy, but we're gonna scoop a couple big chunks of the ice cream right into the top. So now we wanna add our cupcake just exploding out of the top. Oh my God, it is like gonna overflow in the best way possible. All right, and so I still have this leftover icing, which I'm gonna use because, let's be honest, it's absolutely beautiful. Got our sprinkles right here. Give that a little extra pizzazz on top. All right, let's find a place for these suckers now too. Hopefully they don't sink. And last but not least, we want to use a fun straw. I think I like the stripes maybe. We're gonna attempt to stick this straight through the cupcake into our drink. There we go. We have an absolutely fab milkshake. All right, guys, so I have all of the finished products. I did stop to take some pictures for the Instagram. So the milkshake has melted here a little bit, but I mean, yum. Yes, and we've got, of course, our unicorn cupcake. That was our very first one, which I think turned out adorable. Our whipped cream is melting a little bit, but you know, that would be typically the last thing you do right before eating. So I'm quite happy with these. I took a piece of actually wrapping paper here to use this print to take cute pictures, and you can actually make like a backdrop of poster board or you know, any kind of paper as well. So there are all sorts of cute ways to do this. I have a cute serving tray for it that I just love, guys. Target has some really cute stuff right now with Valentine's season, so go check that out. And I will leave a link down below if I can find it too for the heart waffle maker in case that's something you want to get your hands on. Now I'm gonna go enjoy the fruits of my labor and enjoy this delicious shake because I know that my husband is very anxious to get his hands on this mint chocolate chip goodness. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know because I'm thinking about making this a little series here on the channel, doing Instagrammable desserts, you know, from time to time, maybe Valentine's Day, different holidays, different themes. I really had a lot of fun with this one, so I hope you guys did too. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and have a great rest of the week. I will see you guys next Saturday. Bye.